Hey there. You know how you've been feeling a little uncertain about your career path lately? Especially with all the AI hype going around. It's like you're putting in the work, learning new skills, but something feels off, right? Like the ground is shifting under everything we thought we knew about building a career. Well, you're not alone. We're diving into that feeling today, and we've got some seriously eye-opening insights to share with you.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to see how quickly things are changing.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's not even enough to just learn to code anymore.
Right.
The real question is, what do you do with those skills in a world where AI is changing the game every single day?
Exactly. And that's why we're digging into the experiences of someone who's way ahead of the curve on this tech entrepreneur and AI experimenter, Varun Mayya. He's not just talking about AI. He's actually out there building things with it. And the things he's learned are seriously mind-blowing. You know how everyone and their uncle has a course on the one skill you need for the future? Well, Varun's take is that just because someone can teach a skill doesn't mean they understand where that field is actually headed.
It's like the difference between studying maps and actually exploring uncharted territory. Varun is out there in the thick of it, experimenting, failing, and discovering things that most people haven't even considered yet. He's not afraid to challenge the status quo, and that's where the real breakthroughs happen.
Okay, get this. Years before AI image generation became mainstream, Varun publicly predicted it would completely revolutionize thumbnail design.
Wow.
People probably thought he was nuts.
Yeah.
But he knew because he was already building tools using the underlying technology.
This is a perfect example of what sets Varun apart. He doesn't just follow trends. He anticipates them. And he does that by getting his hands dirty, by diving into the technology and understanding its true potential.
It's like he's got this sixth sense for where things are headed, but it's not magic. It's just him putting in the work and being willing to experiment. And you know what? He's got receipts.
Right.
AI thumbnail generators are everywhere now. He saw it coming because he was knee-deep in the code before it was cool. This isn't about luck. It's about understanding the power of actually building with the technology.
And this leads us to one of Varun's key insights, the importance of focusing on outcomes over inputs. He argues that AI is rapidly commoditizing skills like coding, so it's no longer enough to just be able to code. It's about understanding what problems you want to solve and what value you can deliver. Think of it this way. Instead of asking, what skills can I learn? Start asking, what impact do I want to have?
That's huge. It's like anyone can learn to bake a cake from a recipe, but it takes a true pastry chef to understand what flavors work together, what customers crave, and then create something totally new and amazing. AI is turning us all into pastry chefs in a way, but we have to be ready to think beyond just following the recipe.
Exactly. It's about shifting from a focus on tasks to a focus on results. In a world where AI can automate so much, your value comes from your ability to understand customer needs, identify problems, and deliver solutions that matter. This is where what Varun calls the manager mindset comes in.
So it's not that skills don't matter anymore, it's that they're just the starting point. The real game changer is being able to see the whole board, not just your little square. And Varun's own experiences with AI show just how quickly this is happening. He's been using AI agents to automate his own content creation process for years.
Wow.
Even creative fields aren't safe.
And we're not talking about just basic stuff here. He's using AI to generate scripts, edit videos, even dub his voice.
Really?
He basically created a mini-me to help him create more content faster.
Hold on, is he saying AI could host this podcast someday?
Well, maybe not this podcast, but it's certainly something to consider. The point is, this technology is evolving incredibly fast, and it's impacting every aspect of work, even those we traditionally thought were uniquely human.
Okay, that's both amazing and a little terrifying. But let's back up a second. How did he even get started with all this AI agent stuff? It sounds incredibly complex.
He was an early adopter of tools like AutoGPT, which allows you to basically offload entire workflows to AI agents. It's like having a team of incredibly capable but very literal-minded assistants at your disposal.
So it's not just about telling the AI what to do, but how to do it and making sure it understands the bigger picture.
Precisely. It requires a new set of skills, what some are calling prompt engineering, the art of crafting clear and effective instructions for AI models. And this is where the manager mindset becomes so important. It's not enough to simply delegate tasks to AI agents. You need to be able to clearly articulate your goals, anticipate potential roadblocks, and provide feedback that helps the AI learn and improve over time.
It's like being a director for a team of robots.
Yeah.
You have to be incredibly specific with your vision and how you communicate it.
It's even more nuanced than that. It's not just about giving directions. It's about understanding the strengths and limitations of the AI and figuring out how to best integrate it into your workflow.
So you've got to be part tech whiz, part manager, part therapist, making sure your AI team is happy and productive.
There's a certain art to it, for sure.
Yeah.
But this gets to another key insight from Varun, the one about distribution being king.
Right. He talks about this in the context of his software company. They'd build an awesome new feature and boom, a competitor would copy it almost instantly.
Yeah, this is a crucial point. In a world where technology can be easily replicated, the ability to reach the right audience becomes the ultimate differentiator.
He realized that building something amazing wasn't enough. He needed to make sure people actually saw it, used it, loved it. So he did something kind of radical. He pivoted his entire business to focus on distribution.
He went from writing code to hacking the algorithm, and it worked.
Yeah.
He built a huge following online by understanding how to get his content in front of the right eyeballs.
That's wild. It's like he went from being a chef to owning the hottest restaurant in town.
Exactly. It's not enough to just create something great. You have to know how to connect with the people who will value it most. And this brings us back to that idea of outcomes over inputs. Varun could have kept churning out new software features, but he realized that the real outcome he wanted was to build an audience to create a community around his work.
So how did he do it? Spill the secrets.
One of his strategies involved using AI, of course. He created this ingenious system that combined AI avatars, automated video editing, and a human team to create high-quality video content at lightning speed. It was like building a content factory powered by AI.
Okay, that sounds seriously next level, but it still blows my mind that you can use AI to create compelling video content. Isn't that supposed to be the one thing that's uniquely human?
It's a great example of how AI can actually enhance human creativity. Think of it as a collaboration, not a replacement. The AI handles the technical tasks, freeing up the human creators to focus on the things that require emotional intelligence, storytelling ability, and that spark of creative genius that only humans possess.
I'm starting to see how this all ties together. The outcomes over inputs, the manager mindset, the focus on distribution. It's like you need all these different pieces to thrive in this new world.
It's about becoming a multi-hyphenate, a tech-savvy creative entrepreneur who understands the power of AI and how to leverage it to achieve their goals. But Varun's journey also highlights the importance of staying flexible, being willing to admit when you're wrong.
Oh, yeah. He used to be a huge advocate for remote work, even wrote a whole book about it. But then he had some experiences that made him rethink his stance.
He found that while remote work can be effective for some, it wasn't always conducive to the kind of rapid-fire collaboration and innovation that he valued, especially in fast-paced environments.
He realized that sometimes being in the same room, feeding off each other's energy, makes all the difference. Kind of like we're doing right now, bouncing ideas back and forth.
Exactly. It's about finding what works best in each situation and not being afraid to adjust your approach based on new information and experience.
So it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being open to new ideas, challenging your assumptions, and constantly experimenting to find what works best for you.
It's a mindset of continuous learning and adaptation. And that's a key takeaway from Varun's journey. The most important skill you can develop in the age of AI is adaptability.
Adaptability, got it. But how do I actually do that? It feels like every day there's a new AI tool, a new trend, a new expert telling me what the future holds. It's overwhelming.
I hear you. It's a lot to process. But that's where that manager mindset comes in handy. Remember, it's about focusing on outcomes, not just inputs. So instead of trying to learn every new tool or chase every trend, take a step back and ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? What impact do I want to have on the world?
It's about defining your own version of success rather than letting the ever-changing tech landscape dictate it for you.
Exactly. And then you can start to filter the noise. You can identify the tools, the skills, the opportunities that are actually relevant to your goals.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But it also raises a scary question. What if my goals, my dreams become obsolete? Like, what if the career I'm working towards doesn't even exist in 5 years?
That's a valid fear.
Yeah.
But it's also where things start to get really interesting. Because if the old rules no longer apply, if we're willing to embrace this idea of constant experimentation and adaptation, it opens up a world of possibilities.
It's like we're being handed a blank canvas instead of a paint-by-numbers kit.
Yeah.
It's exciting and terrifying all at the same time.
Exactly. And this is where that manager mindset becomes even more crucial, because it's not just about managing tasks or teams anymore. It's about managing your own career, your own development, your own destiny.
So we're all CEOs of our own lives now. I like the sound of that. But what does it actually look like in practice?
It means being proactive, not reactive. It means being strategic about your skill development, constantly assessing your strengths and weaknesses, and identifying areas where you can add value in a world that's increasingly automated. It's about building your network, seeking out mentors and collaborators, and positioning yourself for opportunities as they arise.
It's like you're saying, forget the career ladder, build your own rocket ship.
I love that analogy because it really is about taking control, about being the architect of your own future. And that can feel daunting, but it's also incredibly empowering.
So how do we even begin to build that rocket ship? Where do we even point it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there are a few guiding principles we can glean from Varun's experience.
Okay, lay 'em on me. I'm ready to take notes.
First and foremost, remember that outcomes over inputs idea. It applies here too. Instead of focusing on a specific job title or career path, think about the problems you want to solve, the impact you want to have on the world.
So instead of saying, I want to be a software engineer, I should be saying, I want to use technology to make healthcare more accessible.
Exactly. Frame your goals in terms of the value you want to create. Not only will this make you more adaptable to the changing job market, it'll also make you more attractive to potential employers or collaborators.
Because they're looking for problem solvers, not just people who can check off a list of technical skills.
Precisely. And this leads to the second principle. Embrace experimentation. Don't be afraid to try new things, to step outside your comfort zone, to fail gloriously.
Easier said than done right. Failure can be scary.
Of course. It's natural to fear failure. But what if we reframed it as a learning opportunity? Every time you try something new, you're gathering valuable data about what works, what doesn't, and what truly excites you.
I love that. It's like turning those failures into stepping stones on your path to success.
Exactly. And as you experiment, pay close attention to what energizes you, what keeps you coming back for more even when it's challenging. Those are clues to where your true passions and talents lie.
So it's not just about chasing the next big thing in AI. It's about finding the intersection between what the world needs and what you're passionate about.
You got it. That's where the magic happens. And that brings us to the third principle. Don't be afraid to be unconventional. The old rules of career advancement are being rewritten as we speak.
So forget the traditional career ladder.
It's more like a jungle gym now.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to climb, swing, and sometimes even jump to find your own unique path. And don't be afraid to create your own opportunities.
That's where that manager mindset comes in again, right? Thinking like an entrepreneur, even if you're not starting your own company.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, resourceful, and always looking for ways to add value. And remember, in the age of AI, your ability to connect with other humans, to build relationships, to tell stories that resonate, those are skills that will never go out of style.
So much of this comes down to being human, even in a world that's becoming increasingly automated.
Absolutely. And that's something Varun emphasizes as well. As powerful as AI is, it's ultimately a tool. It's up to us, the humans, to decide how we use it, what we create with it, and what kind of future we want to build.
So what's the one piece of advice, the one nugget of wisdom that you would offer to our listeners who are feeling lost or uncertain about their place in this rapidly changing world?
Embrace the unknown. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because the truth is, none of us have all the answers. But if we stay curious, if we stay adaptable, if we never stop experimenting and learning,
then we can write our own stories.
Exactly. And those stories, I believe, will be the most incredible ones yet told.
That's a wrap on another deep dive